Thank you a bunch, Mr. Chairman, and thank you for holding this really very important hearing. I want to thank all of you all for the hard work that you do, and I know it's really difficult. It has been difficult, and it's even more difficult now. But again, I know that you all work hard and try and do your best, and we appreciate your efforts. Secretary Redding, Ms. Taylor, last fall, USDA finalized a rule expanding access to universal free meals by lowering the threshold to qualify for the Community Eligibility Provision, or CEP. However, state and local educational agencies are still tasked with finding other funding sources to offset the cost if they choose to operate CEP. Can you speak to how this is penciling out at the state and local levels? Mr. Redding?
Yeah, Senator, thank you. We had a little difficulty hearing the question, right? This was about the community eligibility.
Yeah, you want me to say it again?
Yeah, would you please?
I'll actually talk into the microphone this time. Okay, so last fall, USDA finalized a rule expanding access to universal free meals by lowering the threshold to qualify for the community eligibility provision. However, state and local education agencies are still tasked with finding other funding sources to offset the cost if they want to participate and operate it. Can you speak to how this is penciling out at the state and the local level?
Senator, I wish I could. I noted in the introduction that the program is administered by the Department of Education in our state, and with that, the community eligibility provisions. And here representing, that was part one, and two with the NASDA, certainly recognize that there are different metrics and payment systems, but don't have a sort of a solid answer on the financial aspects of making up those differences, but maybe Ms. Taylor does.
Ms. Taylor.
Good afternoon, Senator. Unfortunately, I too don't have that information, but I will gladly reach out to some colleagues at the state level from the Department of Education in Pennsylvania and certainly get back to you with an answer on that.
If I may, I'd love to jump in on that question, Senator Boozman. So you are absolutely right. At 25% identified students, it is really difficult for a school district to offer free meals to all of their students. And so what we've seen in a couple of states is the states have actually covered the difference. So New York has done that, as well as Washington State, and there's some other states who are considering it. And then some school districts think that it's so important to offer free meals to all their students that they absorb those costs and just kind of eat it. But I will say increasing the multiplier, which is currently 1.6 to 2.5, would go a long way in supporting community eligibility schools and implementing it.
Okay, thank you very much. Secretary Redding, your testimony highlights the unique needs of rural school districts as well as the importance of taking the lessons learned from the pandemic to inform policymaking. I've been really pleased to hear about the success of the rural non-congregate options this summer in ensuring more students receive nutritious food during the summer months. How have you seen this option make an impact for children in rural communities across Pennsylvania this summer?
Yes, Senator, thank you for the question, and it's certainly, for all of the pain of the pandemic, we learned a lot, and I think the waiver pieces particularly, and flexibility and awareness, community-wide awareness of the need for access to food, whether that's in the breakfast or school lunch programs, and the charitable feeding program is certainly part of that. We've also recognized the benefits from an economic development standpoint, I'll say, just from connecting farms and the farm community into our feeding system has been one of those great benefits. The investments that were made in building capacity for food processing and local process, whether that be on the meat side or vegetables, has also been a part of that sort of significant change that I think is is both captured in the continued work and some of the policy work. We hope those types of aspects are included in the Farm Bill and the recognition of the connectedness between our farms and food system, as well as our nutrition system as well. So many, many benefits.
Mm-hmm. Very good, thank you. One more? Okay. Thank you, Mr. Chairman, very much. Dr. Browning, plate waste, you know, I've had the opportunity to visit in the schools, and particularly during the pandemic, and now after. I was on the school board for 7 years, so I really am familiar with the great work that they do. I think they're the unsung heroes in the school system, and just do a tremendous job. But when I visit with them, plate waste is a serious problem. And we've updated the nutrition standards several times, but if the food ends up in the trash, you know, that's not helping anybody. Hopefully, we're in a better place for nutrition standards for a long time. How have you seen plate waste change over the last 15 years in light of the nutrition standards change?
I can share that in our studies, we do measure plate waste. And as I said earlier, if the food isn't on the tray, the kid's not going to eat it. So that's the first step. And I do think we could do more once it gets on the tray to encourage consumption. As I discussed, sort of slowing down the meals to allow kids to have more time to eat would help. I think plate waste is improving, and it's going in the right direction, but we can always do more.
So what is the average time that they give them to eat?
So in the 37 schools that we were in Arizona, it was a little over 20 minutes. Most kids take 10 of those 20 minutes to eat. And if they will take 12, they can have 100 more grams of fruits and vegetables by the end of the week.
Mm-hmm. Very good, that's interesting. Well, again, we appreciate all of you, appreciate your hard work, and look forward to working with you on the Farm Bill and all kinds of things. Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman.